My name's Robert. I run the Fly Me to the Moon fan site and the fanzine Fly Me to the Moon. And some of the people around here sponsored Lewis Wing, and then we transferred to we voted we wanted to sponsor you as a to succeed Lewis. Rod, who's to my right. There's two people on the top row who are actually. It's very early in the morning. They're both from New York. They're both Borough fans from New York. And
Hi.
It was Rod who started this process. So we're just fans, and we wanted to chip in and sponsor a player. And everyone was quite excited when we saw your first performance for Borough, and just the way that you you stuck to your man, and the way that you came in and. In that way, and so we all voted. We just wanted you to be the player, and we just wanted to welcome you to Middlesbrough. And we obviously we can't be there in the stadium to do it in person, but we just wanted this opportunity, a few of us, to get together. And these two guys at the top from 8 o'clock in the morning in New York, especially keen to do this. So can I just say welcome, Darnell?
Yeah, no, thank you. Obviously, I appreciate the support, and thanks for supporting me. But in that first game, I just done what I was told to do, which is follow Todd Cantwell. So I've done it, and thankfully we got the draw, got a clean sheet.
Yeah,
that's brilliant. Darnell, I had a question, if I can. I read an article that you did a few years ago when you were playing for Celtic. It was in the Scotsman newspaper, and you talk a lot about when you were younger, you were playing for Eldon Celtic. Coincidentally, I think it was when you were scouted to go and play in a tournament.
Yeah.
So at that age, you were at 17, I think it says. You were 17, you were playing maybe semi-pro and stuff like that level. So I was just very curious to ask you how big a part or how big a factor luck is, you think, to become a professional sports, an athlete, professional athlete at any level? Because if that scout hadn't been there that day, I mean, things might have been different for you. I don't know. And I often wonder that you have all these people at your level, at extremely high level. And is it just being at the right place at the right time? Or is it partly self-belief? Or is it a combination of all things you think that lead to you getting to where you are now?
I think it's a combination of a lot of things, but I think luck is massive. And I think where I was when I got scouted, it was luck. Because I don't think I would never have thought there would have been a scout there or a guy there that would help me in what he did for my career. But then even when I was that age, I was 16 at the time, I wasn't thinking I was going to be a professional footballer. I wanted to be, like everyone I grew up with, I wanted to be, but I just didn't think there was an avenue which I could be able to be a professional footballer. But then luckily that chance came along and I was in the right place at the right time. And obviously your ability and everything else comes into play, but initially it is a bit of luck at the beginning.
Right. I know. Sorry, can I ask one more question, Rob? Or
yeah, of course.
Yeah. Okay. Just linked to that. I think it's in the same article you said that you went back and you said it was a little bit surreal because you were watching some of your friends still playing kind of in that league, and whilst you were playing obviously for Celtic at such a high level. I mean, again, were there some people that you played with that you think could have made it as well, just for different circumstances? And I suppose when I'm thinking about that, I'm thinking is that what more can we do to encourage younger kids to kind of believe in themselves and stuff?
That's what it goes back to when I was talking about the bit of luck, because there's a lot of people I went to school with that was like a lot better than me technically. And I even to this day, I'll go back in the summer back home and I'll say to them, like, I don't know how you're not a professional footballer. But then it goes down to the mentality side of the game, the desire, the determination. So there's a lot of things that's
right.
that you need to actually like make it. It's not just about having a talent, like, 'cause a lot of people's got talent. A lot of people where I'm from has got talent, but you have to have the determination, the desire, the mentality, because there's a lot of setbacks in football. There's massive setbacks. And if you can't come back from the setbacks, you'll never make it.
So how do you deal with that? Does every player deal with it differently? Are you now kind of taught by how to deal with things by, I don't know, psychologists and stuff, or is it just, does that depend on the individual? Some people might go for that, some people might not. Or Because, like you said, if you have a bad game, if I have a bad day at work, it's annoying. But I still think about when I had a bad game of rugby years ago and there was no one watching. It's still like is in my head this one bad thing I did, which I got dropped from the team for about. I'm still thinking about it, and you're doing it. You're in front of 30,000 plus people, and everyone's talking about it. I mean, how the hell do you deal with that? I just don't know.
I think you have to be strong mentally. Like I learned a lot from older players when I was growing up. Like when I was on obviously at Celtic and when I went on loan from Celtic to St Johnstone, there was players like that just said like they're never up, they're never down, because in football like it's just a roller coaster. So they just try to stay level headed, because 1 minute you could be on top of the world and next minute like you're the worst thing ever. And when you go back to the thing about you have a bad game, you have a bad game, there's no one watching, but if you have a bad game now, there's people on Twitter that's writing about you or on Instagram or whatever, like saying stuff about you. So you have to be mentally strong, otherwise you'll get eaten alive. And the way society is going right now, people's just got a voice. Everyone has a voice, and it's not just telling you something. The manager will say something to you. The manager will say, "Listen, you done well today." You go and look at your phone, and people are writing bad messages to you. But it's where football's going at the moment. But as a footballer, you have to be mentally strong. You have to be, or you have to have some good people around you, good family members around you.
Right. Okay, I've got many more questions, but I don't know if anyone else has any more.
Ian, I know that you had you sent me some questions, didn't you? Over. Are you unmuted?
Yeah, just unmuted.
Yeah.
The first thing I was interested in, Darnell, was obviously what your first impressions of the borough, and particularly how do you find working with Neil Warnock compared to other managers that you've worked with?
It's a good group of boys here, and it's got some real top players here. That's and obviously our goal is to get in the playoffs, and I do think it's very achievable with the players that we got here. And obviously the manager's been around the block. He's got countless of promotions and playoffs and whatnot. But the manager's he's a character. Obviously, he's what he is, like what everyone thinks he is when they. So it's obviously it's good working with the manager every day.
And do you find his ideas different from was it Alex Neil you were with at Preston, or are they similar?
No. Well, most managers that I've had, they want to win like at any cost, and I'm a player. I'd win at any cost. If I need to do something, you need to do whatever you need to do to win, and the manager here is exactly the same. So no, I'm all for that. So I think it's a good match.
I was also interested in finding out a bit more about yourself, sort of growing up. Which team did you support, and who were your heroes, idols growing up?
I was an Arsenal fan. I was an Arsenal when I was younger, and it was a team. When I actually started watching football, it was I think it was just a year before the Invincible year, or that. So with Vieira, Thierry Henry, that them players there. Gerrard was I used to look at Gerrard as well.
That makes me feel old.
Has anybody else got another question they'd like to ask for Darnell?
Well, I'd like to ask someone, please, if you don't mind. I've missed it. I've just logged on now, so I've missed the first 5-10 minutes. I don't know if this question's been asked. I've looked at your profile. You played for Celtic. You won a few medals in your time. What's it like playing in front of no crowds at all, compared to when you go away in front of a big hostile crowd?
I don't like it personally. I'm a player that I like the crowd there. Even if they're giving you a bit of stick, it's good. You enjoy it. When you go to places and it's hostile and it's horrible, they're the places where you think, this is good. Let's have a. But when there's no crowd, it's not. At first, after the lockdown, it's hard to get yourself up for the games, because you're up for the game, but you rely on the crowd get you going as well. You get a bit more from the crowd, but obviously now we're used to it without the crowd. So, but I'm not a fan, if I'm honest.
Right.
I did look. Sorry, am I okay to talk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did when I looked at your profile. I noticed the day you were born, the buddy got stuffed 4-0. I like your facts, by the way.
Cheers.
And also, has anybody told you the Buddha's 145 years old today? Has anybody mentioned that? I just thought I'd get that in. Anyway, welcome to the Buddha.
Was it a tremendous sense of relief to win that game on Tuesday? It was obviously a really hard-fought match, but to finally get another win and a win at home.
Yeah, it was, especially after the Norwich game we drew. You'd say it's a good point, especially down there in Brentford. Brentford are a top team in this division. It could have gone like the first half was really good, and then obviously they scored, but we should have probably scored as well. And then the game changes on that. But then the Derby game, I think we conceded the first goal, and then the wonder strike. I don't think he'd hit a better strike than that in his life. And then obviously we get the extra goal to make it a draw or what. But then the Huddersfield game was massive. We needed the points there, and thankfully we got it. We went 1-0 down. Another good free kick, like top corner, and then yeah, we rallied and probably should have had more goals as well. It should have been a bigger scoreline, if I'm honest.
Right. Darnell, I read also as well that you're eligible to play for Grenada. Is that correct? Is that?
Yeah, you have done your research.
Yes, yeah. There you go. Yeah. Is there anything coming from that, or I've got
yeah, it was on to me a few. I think last season, the season before, about doing it, but it just like it wasn't the right time when they came. But I don't know. I think they're still interested, but we'll see how that goes.
Is that something you'd want to pursue? I mean, it's a great country, so nice and warm as well. So
yeah, I need some warm in me. I need some heat. So maybe.
Oh yeah.
No, my grandparents obviously were born there, so yeah.
Brilliant. Yeah.
If it comes up, yeah, I'll go and play and hopefully do them proud. But yeah, at the moment, let's just concentrate on the club football.
Right. How does that happen though? Do you get a call from the federation? I mean, does that even come to be that you're made aware of this situation?
They get in contact with me and then my agent, and then obviously when they got games, they obviously contact the club. But sometimes the difficulty with them being in the Caribbean, when they have their games, we're not in national break, so we've got games. So then that's where the dilemma comes, where I can't go over there because I'm obviously playing for the club.
Right.
So yeah, it's a bit complicated at the moment, but yeah, maybe in the future we'll see.
All right. Well, I hope that works out for that. Would be great. Really, really good.
Hey Darnell, I've got a quick question for you, if you don't mind. You played a great game on Tuesday against Huddersfield, playing wing-back. Now I know you'll answer that you just want to be in the team, but do you have a preference for wing-back or fullback?
Wing-back's more running. Fullback, you can pick and choose, but no. If we play 5 at the back, I'll play wing-back. Like, it don't matter to me. But if you play 4, like, I just want to play football. Really, that's it. It's a cliche answer, but it's like it's what you want to do. Like, you just want to play football. If the manager says literally go and stand next to Cantwell, you do it. Like, you do what you need to do. Like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. On that topic, can I ask about the different level of fitness that you need for actually playing the game compared to general fitness? Because I know we've got a couple of players come in on loan, and maybe because they haven't played a game for a long time, they've found it a little bit difficult to adjust to the game. Is it really that much different? I mean, what is different about it? I mean, obviously you're sprinting. Is it just the contact, or what is it that makes it so different from me being in the gym and working out?
It's everything, because you can get a marathon runner to come and do a training session with us, and he wouldn't be able to keep up. It's different because you could run all day, like you do pre-season, you can run all day, but when you're actually playing a game, you're thinking about that, you're talking, you're doing so much more that you don't think. Because I used to think that when I was younger, like, oh, like I'm fit, but then you're not match fit. It is a different
right.
It's hard to explain, but as a footballer, when like you can be fit and train all day, but like you can't match or not finish a match or be at the same level as everyone else, because this match fitness is completely different.
Right. So how long do you think it would normally take? People sit a couple of games to get into it, and is it better to have like a run of games, or how does that?
It depends on the player, really. I think you're better when you have a run of games. So like things just come off the cuff. Like when you get dipped in and out, it's hard to get your rhythm as a player. So I think you need a good run in the team, and then things just start happening off the cuff. But you do need a run of games, but it's hard when you're just dipped in and out.
Okay.
Robin, John, Simon, do you want? Yeah, go on.
Thank you. I was just wondering, obviously Neil Warnock's quite well known for his man management, his man marking system from a defensive point of view. Do you find that translates into a sort of different style of training to what you've ever used to?
No, I wouldn't say different type style of training, because we don't really do we don't man mark in training. Like we do different things in training, but it's just obviously in the game, and it obviously is different from who you're playing against as well. Different teams, because one team will have a few key players that you need to stop, and other teams won't, where we can imprint what we do on them. But no, it's not really different from. I think majority of clubs in this division will do similar things in training.
Okay, thank you.
John, you have to get up early. Do you want to? Oh, sorry, go on.
No. Sorry, Rob.
No, do it. Go on, Dan.
I was just saying, Darnell. Which player have you come up against that has surprised you the most?
Middlesbrough.
No, I mean in your career, when you come against someone, who's the player that you thought, when you actually come against them, that surprised you how good they actually were, that maybe people on TV don't realise are as good as they are?
There's honestly, the championship gets better every year, and I've been in the champ for I think 5 seasons now, so. I can't really tell you a player, because you play against most wingers and you think, oh my God, he's actually better than I thought he was.
Yeah.
It's almost majority, every 2 weeks, you're probably playing against someone you're thinking wow, he's actually better than he is. But no, I honestly can't give you a name off the top of my head.
So how would you say the standards change in the championship compared to Premier now, player-wise?
Actually, I can give you a player. Ollie Watkins, when it was about 4 seasons ago, and he played as a winger. Didn't know nothing of him, and I played against him, and I thought, wow, he's a good player. Yeah.
Doing right now, isn't he?
Yeah.
What about compared to the different leagues? Like, and you played in the Scottish League championships. Is it a massive difference between certain leagues? Or do they kind of balance out, or does it depend on other factors?
I think down here, the Scottish League gets frowned upon a bit, people from down south. But if you're up there, the standard is better than what everyone thinks. For the likes of the players that's up there now, and the players that have been up there, that I've seen, one of the best centre backs in the world, Van Dijk. He was up there. I played the same as him. Victor Wanyama, Keeson Young. There's so many players that's gone and played in the Prem. Fraser Forster's played the World Cup with England. There's so many players, but then when you play for Celtic, everyone wants to beat you. So it's a tough game regardless who you're playing, because everyone's doing an extra bit to beat you because you're Celtic. So that's that's what you come against when you're up there.
I should say we were all cheering as we've sponsored you. We were all cheering when you were brought down for the penalty on Tuesday night. We're pleased it was converted.
Yeah, I probably should have scored. I probably should have been in the box. There was a cross that I think Bowler or Cabana put in just before that, and I was a bit too far out. And then, about a minute later, that happened, and obviously managed to get the pen. But yeah, luckily it went in the back of the net.
Yeah. And obviously, towards the end of that match, down to 10 men, and an awful lot of pressure. Fortunately, we got to the end of that game, but that might have been very different, mightn't it, if the crowd had been there? That might be. Would the tension have been even more? Do you think, with the faces in the crowd, people biting their nails?
Yeah, but you could say that about Paddy's tackle as well.
Oh yeah,
referee might if we're at home, the crowd. Do you know what I mean? It's all things, and obviously we would have got the penalty if the crowd was in, because the referee would have given it because we was at home, obviously. But the last 10 minutes when after it was intense. It was intense on the bench. It was intense for everyone. But I think we just needed that them 3 points because it was big. And obviously, you had the 3 points in a while, so it was big for the club and big for the team. So thankfully, we got it.
I was going to ask you that. Have you noticed as players the difference in how referees are refereeing games without the crowd being there? Home and away.
Yeah, because you get certain decisions when you get certain decisions, but the crowd has an effect on them. So when you're playing away at a tough game and their home fans are loud, like the referee is likely to give them like the little decisions, but that's just like what happens. But that's the only like bits that you kind of tell from referees, really.
Has it been more difficult settling in for you into a new town with lockdown at the situation? Does it make it any more difficult?
Yeah, because I've just been in the hotel really. Like I've obviously been moving stuff from Preston way, but that was it. It was just like Preston, training, hotel, the same thing again. That was it. But it is difficult because you like to obviously have a walk around, have a coffee, sit and have a coffee and do stuff like that. But you can't just drive through now and then back to the hotel. So
have you had a chance to see much of the area at all, Darnell?
No, literally, I know where Costa is. I can tell you where Costa is. That's it, really. But, yeah, that's about it.
What talking about that? Are you allowed to just drink what you want? I mean, are they monitoring your drinks there, like nutritionally, Darnell? Is that a big thing now? Like, if you want a caramel spice latte, would that be off the books because there's too much sugar, or could you sneak that one in?
No, I think some people would sneak it in, but no, you don't really. We're professional, like, and a lot of players in the team's been professional for a number of years, so you know what your body needs, and you know after a hard game, you can maybe have a takeaway because you've had a hard game. You need to recover your body, but man, you wouldn't do nothing silly on a day before a game.
Right.
Did you know any of the other lads before you joined the Borough, Darnell?
Did I know any of the players here?
Yeah.
Britt, you got the same agent. I played against like Marvin, because I played against him when he was in Scotland as well, Marvin Johnson.
Okay.
So I knew of him. And then no, not really. I played with Dale actually at Rotherham. I played with Dale for a bit at Rotherham. So not really, but you just know players come playing against them, and then obviously you get chatty and that. But yeah, it's a good group here, so it's easy to settle in with the boys.
Excellent.
In a similar theme there, how close would you say the football family is, given the fact that you do move between clubs so much, and the fact that you don't sort of know when you're going to meet the next person, as it were? 1 minute you're playing against them, the next minute you're playing with them.
Yeah, I think as a footballer, like, you know, you're against everybody. You know, like, people outside will just come at you with anything. But no, obviously, I think a lot of footballers stick together. You get talking during the game anyway. You maybe make a bad tackle. You'll talk to them, or they'll do you with a bit of skill, and you just, it's like, it's football. You get talking, and then obviously that builds up a little bit of rapport. But yeah, it is good.
Does it still have like the game? I know, again, I'm sorry, I'm going back to the quote that you said before, and if I can, you said you just said you'll keep plugging away and look to my chances when they come along, and keep enjoying the game. Is that over time, not just for you generally, but for other players? You know, there's a book a few years ago, I think, called The Secret Footballer, where he talks about it just becomes a kind of matter of routine. And, you know, obviously you're talking to us, we're all fans, and, you know, for us, you're in a great, amazing position. But over time, for some footballers, does that kind of glamour or go away? I mean, you said earlier on, you said that you just really want to play. Do you think some players can lose that at times, or is it just become?
I can't really talk about other players because I only talk about myself. But when you say like plugging away, you mean you just like you keep at it, like you just keep at it, like another day you keep going. It's not like you basically throwing in the towel. Like when you mean like you're gonna keep plugging away and see where I end up, like that's you keep going. Like no matter what, you get set back, you plug away, you keep going again. Do you know what I mean? It's like
you say it more like it becomes a job, though. Is that what you get at?
Yeah. Like early on when you were at Celtic, you said it was like, yeah, you know, you just wanted to play and you loved just playing it. But you just said now you still enjoy that feeling of playing. So that's still with you, that desire to play every day.
Oh yeah, of course it is. Especially on it's different now. Like, the answer that I'd usually give and say what I feel is like, yeah, you can't beat on a Saturday where like you go away to a place and the fans are booing you and you come away with a free. You can't beat that feeling. You can't like get that again. But obviously now I can't say that because there's no fans in the stadium. So, like, but you go away to a hard place and get 3 points, a tough game, and you're buzzing. But then obviously again, it quickly gets forgotten about because you got another game on a Tuesday. Like, so that's where you mean like, but you're plugging away. Like, you can't get too carried away. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. I think. Do we have any more questions, Rob? Or
another question? That's okay.
Okay, sorry, Simon. Go on.
Sorry, I was just going to ask you. You mentioned about players talking to each other on the pitch. Do you find a lot of sledging goes on? Is there a lot of sort of winding each other up and that sort of thing verbally?
Winding people up.
Yeah, do players wind each other up a lot? Or is it all more sort of friendly banter, or are they just trying to get a reaction sometimes out of each other?
A lot gets said. Friendly, not friendly. Like there's a lot of words. To be fair, if there's a camera, like people be shocked what was said. Like a microphone, people be shocked what gets said on the pitch. But no, it's all sorts of things. Like people try and put you off. Like you say something to him, you say like you have disagreements, you have banter, like you argue. Like it's just what it is. And then after the game, you shake hands and say, yeah, all the best. Like that's good.
Are you confident of the 3 points on Saturday then?
Yeah, it'd be a tough game, but yeah, like I don't think a team, a club of this size, will going into any game thinking like we're gonna get beat or like we want to go to win every game possible. Obviously, that's not. If it don't happen, it don't happen. But no, we want to go down there and hopefully get the 3 points. Yeah.
That was a question I was going to ask. Sorry, because obviously I came in late. What surprised you when you came to Middlesbrough? You surprised at the setup and the scale of the club?
Yeah, well, I've played here a few times. I played there a few times, and I know I played there with the fans in, and I know like it is a big club, but obviously, and I know they was in the Prem like a few years ago. So yeah, like I knew it was a big club, but obviously when you get here, you don't realize how big it is and how big like the setup behind the scenes is, how good it is.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Because everybody, like in the past, everyone that came was always surprised about Rockcliffe and the fact that we have the things in the background we do. So would you say that's still the case? A lot of clubs seem to have caught up now, man. But yeah.
Yeah, no. But I played with a boy that came through at Middlesbrough before, so he obviously I spoke to him just before I signed, and he said he knew a bit about the club. So yeah, like I knew a bit.
Brilliant.
And are you confident now that having got that win out of the way, that we could maybe go on and get a few more points and start looking up the table again rather than worrying?
Oh yeah, of course. We knew the 3 points were going to come, even though it was hard. We was anxious at the end, but we knew it would come with the quality in this team. But yeah, no. Hopefully we will. Hopefully we do get a good run on and see where it takes us.
Do we have? I can't remember his name. Your son was going to have a question there. Yeah, I mean, it's been all his old timers talking. So,
all right. What would you give, or what advice would you give to a young player trying to become a professional footballer?
I think it's like what everyone would say. You have to work hard. You have to be the best that you can be. Like, where if you're a defender, like be the best defender that you can. Like, make sure you're good at it. Make sure you work on it. And I think as well, a lot of football that will help you learn stuff as well. Watch what other professionals do. Like, watch what the top teams do. Like, and you'll get better at it because you'll learn their movements and stuff like that. That's what I used to do. And I still watch football now because you can never stop learning. So I think that's good. Like, work hard and listen to what people say as well. Listen to your coach. Listen to advice that people give you, and like want to learn yourself as well. That's another massive thing. Not just let people tell you. You want to learn. Like, you go and do it, and you just seek the initiative to go and learn stuff.
Were you always a fullback, Darnell, or did you start off somewhere else?
Oh, I was a centre midfielder when I first went to Celtic. Like, that's why the Patrick Vieira and Steven Gerrard was my heroes. But then obviously when I was Celtic and I wasn't good enough to play centre midfield, so I become a defender and right back. So yeah.
Excellent. I have to go, actually. I actually have another meeting, but Darnell, thank you very much. I appreciate it. Thank you for me, at least. Okay. Thank you much. Take care. Thank you. Good luck. I hope you get to play for Grenada. Thanks, guys.
Thanks for organising, Rod.
Are there any more questions? Is that it? For anybody
Just
else?
on a similar theme, Daniel, just the final one. Who was your like childhood hero when you were like playing about in the garden for it that you pretended to be?
It depends. If we was doing skills, it was Thierry Henry. If we was like playing one and tackling, it was Patrick Vieira. So it was two.
Not bad.
John or Robin, would you like to say anything?
I'm good. I was just happy listening.
John's in New York at the moment, so early in the morning, breakfast time.
I'm waiting for my son to bring me breakfast round.
Robin, would you like to say anything?
I'd just like to say thank you for coming. It's been very interesting. Very enjoyable.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks, Darnell. Been brilliant.